I put out requests for what I should do for my 100th video, loads of you came up with brilliant ideas. And one suggestion was, it's becoming a little bit me, this vlog. How about what's going on in here? So I'm going to give you a little potted history and bring you up to date. So some of you may have seen in a previous vlog that the Spitfire story started in a flat in Rupert Street in Soho. But I got, after 12 years of working out of there, I got kicked out. So I had to find a place quick, and my friend Sam Sim, who's a composer, told me about this new music hub being built. So basically I got a temporary location up here, and with my ex-assistant Sam, hi Sam if you're watching, we basically had an office space with 2 glass partitions, and we're basically having our speakers pointing at each other in a kind of massive speaker battle. That was for 6 months, whilst the fantastic people at Tileyard built me a whole bunch of studios here, which is basically where I actually took 8 rooms, had 8 recording studios. And kindly, the landlord here enabled me to get out of that situation. I suddenly was a landlord and didn't like being a landlord at all. He allowed me to get out of that situation so I could set up shop here. Which I guess is the point where, you know, it was that was the kind of crossroads in my life when Spitfire suddenly became the biggest concern in my life. It became a thing, a place with people. But because it's been run by Paul and I, it all has to start with a recording studio. And one of you had the brilliant suggestion of maybe meeting all of the Spitfire team. The problem with that is there's quite a few of us now. So I've decided, so what I thought I could do is maybe get some people who don't usually appear in front of the camera to talk about what they do and how they found Spitfire, and maybe some newer members of the team.
So my name is Ben Adams. I'm the videographer at Spitfire Audio. I used to make very low budget creative music videos, and one of my friends, he spotted the videographer job and kind of nudged it my way. It's been a constant adventure where there's been so many times where I have to stop and realise, like, how did I get here? Every day is like a little adventure.
My name's Sunini and I am management accountant at Spitfire.
You're working with a lot of nerdy girls and boys who like to buy toys.
Yeah. That is one of the big challenges. I think it's a timing issue at times. So really it's a case that sometimes things are needed quite urgently. People do like toys, so there's a lot of purchases, and it's just trying to keep an eye on cost as well.
And is there anyone in particular who tends to put in large restaurant bills?
Yes, it is you. It's family really, and that's the best part of it. Culture's very fun, can be quite boozy sometimes, but I like a glass of wine, so.
My name's Toby Gayle and I am the Events and Brand Partnerships Manager. Somebody said the other day that it's just a kind of professional party planner, but it's a bit more than that, I guess. Just so we host events throughout the year. It's quite a lot of travelling this year, so we're sort of taking some of the team and representing what Spitfire do through events and spaces where we have masterclasses, we might have talks, may involve our composers or Christian yourself. There was one quite big event, which was the Hans Zimmer Strings launch. That involved a bloody big party at Air Studios. I think it was either you or Will said, oh, let's just do a sort of small gathering with us two in their studios and just a few drinks, sort of VIP invite. And then I think it was Will that went home and watched the Steve Jobs film, came back and was like, right, forget that, we're going big, we need to rethink everything. I'm a composer, electronic music more. So it's nice to come into a world that's very different from that and actually start to kind of collide the two a bit. One of the true delights is having such support here for individual kind of progression and musical ventures outside of work. You know, I think that's always been really important to anybody that kind of has a bit of a side hustle that they're doing outside, to be able to come into work and feel like you've got our back even if we're doing these other things, and in fact encourage that stuff. That's a real winner.
I'm Sandy and I'm the senior customer support rep, so I work in our customer experience department.
Legend.
When I started, Ben, who's our customer experience manager, had just started just before Christmas the previous year, and Kim, who's no longer here, you know, that was the team as it was. I think before that it was kind of whoever was kind of unlucky enough to be doing support was doing support. But since then, our support load has just gone up and up and up because our number of customers has gone up, I suppose. I think something like 9,000 tickets that I did in the last year. I was working in a kind of bougie private hospital at the time, and I turned up in a three-piece suit, and it was a horrible day, so I was even carrying an umbrella, and I think James just took an immediate dislike to me. I must have just looked like the wrong fit for the job, but I kept at it. My background's music. I did a master's in composition at Surrey, but I immediately then went and did a bunch of jobs that have nothing to do with that. We have such a wide user base, from your sort of enthusiastic amateur to your just total pro end stuff, and there's no direct correlation between how much support someone needs and how technically cognizant they are or what have you. I think someone can be very technically minded and still need an awful lot of sort of hands-on work. What do they call it? Dunning-Kruger effect, where the more you know about something, the less you realise you know about something, and then you want to find out more, you ask a lot more questions. And people just tinker more and break things more often when they're more confident of their abilities, I suppose. Generally speaking, our folks are lovely. We don't get an awful lot of grumpy folk these days. Like I say, thousands and thousands of tickets last year. I think it was only like 15 bad feedback or something with comments. Like, that's pretty good in my eyes.
My name is Grace and I'm project manager at Spitfire Audio.
Well, you were something else until today.
Yes, so today is my last day as PA to you and Paul. So it's going to be a bit of a change from next week for me. So I work with all the different departments in Spitfire Audio to make sure that we deliver products and get them out there into the world. So it involves kind of talking to everybody all the time and sort of tracking how work's going and making sure that we put great products out there. I mean, it's kind of quite a cognitive shift talking about a marketing campaign and then speaking with the software team about how that's all going. So it's very kind of multidiscipline, kind of quite varied on a day-to-day basis. Culture is something that is really important to me, and it's something that here at Spitfire we have the culture committee. So once a week we meet and we talk about all the different things that we can do to maintain and improve the culture all the time. So that's anything from making sure that the plants are watered to nice social things we can all do together. Because I think that some of us kind of have our headphones on all day and don't actually look up. So it's kind of having an eye out for people and making sure that everybody's still coming together. When I joined, I think there were kind of around sort of 10 full-time people around, and now I think something like 40. So it's kind of, really exciting. So today is end of sprint. So here at Spitfire, we work in 2-week chunks called sprints, and it's kind of part of an agile methodology. At the end of every sprint, we do a big show and tell with the whole company where everybody comes together and we kind of do this joint presentation where we kind of showcase all our work, our achievements, some funny stuff. If people have been kind of away on business travel, we'll share some photos, and it's kind of just a big celebration of the just gargantuan amount of work we managed to achieve as a group within quite a short space of time. We do a day in the life where somebody's nominated to kind of talk through the most mundane parts of their day, and it's kind of a really nice way to get to know people who maybe you don't interact with every day. And then after that we do a People Sprint Award, and then we go to the pub and we count up all the votes and then tell the person who's won, and it's just a really lovely celebration of...
You've skipped over what the prize is, though.
Oh yeah, so it was originally a tiny trophy, but that disappeared after the first time. So it's actually a shot of something.
I'm Tom, and I'm the lead visual designer at Spitfire. It involves really just creativity, so thinking about the way the product artwork looks, that's a main one, and that obviously kind of flows down into the wider marketing material for that product, but equally thinking about things like the email signatures we use, or the way that the office is going to look, what mugs we're going to drink tea out of, the merchandise we make, the tone of voice sometimes that we address our customers with. So really anything that has a creative input, generally I find myself somewhere, something to do with it. After playing in a band for a long time and realising if I was going to make music, it would only be completely on my terms. I didn't want to compromise at all to ever try and make that a career. And actually I was like, I'd rather do that with design. I'm happy to kind of fit into someone else's workflow and make design on their terms.
And what was kind of interesting about, and not many people know this, but you kind of ostensibly took over from me.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's something that's been quite a fun, unique part of the kind of the role that at times I kind of feel a bit almost like a custodian of the brand and trying to kind of continue the ethos and the aesthetic, but obviously equally, you know, pushing it.
Could you describe the brand? I think it's such a difficult...
It's British. That's a big thing that I come back to, and I try and use as many kind of British references as I can. I think that's the thing I've currently recently picked up is thinking of brands as people, and really it's almost like when you go around to someone's house and it's not tidy, it's not immaculate, you know, they weren't expecting guests, they haven't hoovered for you, but every item in their house just has a quality to it. You can pick up the teapot, you can see the picture frame or see the mirror, and everything just feels a quality and a kind of a wealth to it. Not in a monetary sense, but a wealth in the decision behind acquiring all these things. And I think that's the kind of the ethos I try to imagine.
I'm Andy. I'm a software developer, and I tend to work on sort of more back-end stuff.
I'm George. I'm also a software engineer, and I mainly work on the user interface.
I'm Dino. I'm also a software engineer, and I sort of do the whole like making the patches and the presets bit from the people that cut all the samples and stuff. Saw that Spitfire was hiring, and I was like, oh, sick, they're hiring. I play guitar mostly. Since starting here, I've gotten better at piano, probably because I'm playing hands with the strings all the time. Get more interested in strings now, actually. Ironic. We went to uni, and they were like, if you want to work in a studio, you're better going it alone, because studios aren't hiring anymore, and studios aren't hiring anymore, so you're better off like building plugins. So it was one of those ones where I was like, well, if I'm not going to make music as a job, my job is then going to be making the gear to make music.
My name's Jo Patterson, and I'm in the product team doing a junior developer. So basically kind of editing all the samples as they come from the sessions and working with Demi and the other guys, and so that's kind of my role at Spitfire. I saw the opportunity. It was kind of, I know of Spitfire, and I've been a massive fan for many years. I kind of grew up in music, I studied music, I have been a fan of the product, I've worked with the product, and I saw the opportunity in the development team, and I thought, I've got to go for this. I've always wanted to be part of a creative company, and I know of Spitfire, and it's just a brilliant atmosphere and the team, and I went for it, and I'm here, which is brilliant. I'm a composer, and I studied a master's in composing for film and TV and games, and I moved from Edinburgh. And basically, I've always been really interested in creating sample libraries, and I would play a lot with the EXS24, and then did some stuff in Contact and making little random bits and bobs, and what library can I kind of make out of this sound and this bit, and I just wanted to kind of come here and be in the midst of things, and learn from everybody else, and be in an environment that's creating all these amazing things and amazing products and libraries and sounds.
I'm Garrett Farrell. I've been at Spitfire for 6 weeks now. I am a junior Contact developer there, which basically means that I prepare the samples ready for and put them together, make it into making a cohesive sample instrument. I originally moved to London to pursue a career in choral singing. I was a Levica choral. I was a professional singer in Cathedral in Dublin when I was there. And so I came over to London in order to, expand networks and things like that, and ended up working in King's College in their IT department for I kind of sojourned there for about 2.5 years. I had been keeping tabs on it on the company for a while, just being like, seeing what was new. But without, not doing it professionally, it wasn't something that I was ever kind of taking very seriously. And then one day when I was just kind of like looking on the homepage, I saw, there's a career section down there. Funny, I never thought of that before. And they were advertising for a junior Contact developer, and I'd done some Contact-based stuff before during my undergraduate, and I thought that seems like a great thing to go for.
So as you can see, we've become a bit of a bigger family with our end of sprint barbecue going on here. There's the sun isn't out much in England, so we're making the most of it. So it's time for us to, as the next part of our day, get absolutely hammered. Thanks again for asking about the Spitfire family and wanting to meet some of the new gang and some people who haven't been on camera before. See you soon. Bye. Also, one of you had the brilliant suggestion of maybe meeting every member of the Spitfire team. Unfortunately, if every one of them were to speak for a couple of minutes, this would be probably a couple of hours long. So I've basically decided... no, fuck that. You see, this is what you don't see. It's like my hard drive's full of 4K video of me just utmost profanity. Okay.